You've all heard it before. You'll be standing at the side of a road or you'll be in your car and you'll hear an ambulance coming. And it's moving towards you. You hear the siren going and it's going nee-noo, nee-noo. But you notice something weird. When the ambulance passes you, it sounds like it changes. The ambulance is here and it goes nee-noo, nee-noo, nee-noo. But once it gets to you, it goes nee-noo, 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 nee-noo. And you hear that with all sorts of things. You hear that with sirens on police cars and ambulances and fire engines. You also hear it with fast cars as well. When you hear a racing car go past, it goes meow. The sound gets lower. Now, why is that? It's to do with the Doppler effect. The Doppler effect is the apparent change in the frequency or the wavelength of a wave due to the relative motion of the source and observer. Now, if you were riding in the ambulance, if you were the paramedic, you wouldn't hear the siren change tune at all. It would sound the same all of the time. Why is that? Well, it's because you're going the same speed as the ambulance because you are in it. So there is no relative motion, no relative speed, velocity between you and the siren. However, if you're standing still on the side of a road and this ambulance is passing you, then there is a relative speed. Now, the siren produces a wave of a certain frequency and wavelength. And if I was to draw that, I'm going to draw it like that. Let's say, for argument's sake, that it's producing a sound of 1 hertz. In reality, it's going to be way higher than that, but let's just say that it's 1 to begin with. If it's 1 hertz, that means that the siren is making 1 wave every second. If the siren's making 1 wave every second, then the paramedic inside is going to hear 1 wave a second. However, are you on the side of the road going to hear a sound that's 1 hertz per second? No, you're not. Why not? It's because as the ambulance moves, it's actually catching up with the waves that it's already made. So because the ambulance is catching up with the waves that it's already sent towards you, that means that the waves are going to be squashed together. The siren is making a sound of 1 hertz, 1 wave per second. But what are you going to hear? Are you going to hear 1 wave a second? No, you're going to hear, let's say, 2 hertz. Another way of thinking about it is the first wave that you hear, the ambulance was over here. The second wave you hear, the ambulance was closer to you. Third wave, it was closer to you again. So you can see that each single wave that reaches you was made a little bit closer to you. So that means that the waves have to be squashed together. What does that mean? The frequency is increased. Just going to say F. If the frequency increases because they're hitting you more often, what does that mean the wavelength has done? Well, that's decreased because they have to do the opposite. Now, obviously, these are sound waves, so the color of these don't matter, but you might be able to see where this is going a little bit later on. What about after the ambulance has gone past you? Well, it's the opposite effect, isn't it? It's sending you a wave, but by the time it makes the second wave, it's moved away from you, and so that means that the waves are more spread out. So what would you hear here? You would hear less than 1 hertz. I don't know, let's say 0.5 hertz, something like that. Of course, I'm just making these numbers up. What's happened? Frequency has decreased because the waves are hitting you less often than they should, and the wavelength has increased. So we can see the Doppler effect works for sound waves, but it actually works for any wave whatsoever. You see, it not only works for sound waves, but it also works for light waves too. Now, if you look up in the sky, you'll see the sun sending light towards you, if it's daytime. Now, the light that comes from the sun isn't just one color, it's lots of colors combined, isn't it? But using various methods, we can actually tell exactly what specific wavelengths of light are being given out by the sun. So if I was to draw a spectrum of colors, spectrum of wavelengths, and here the wavelength is increasing, what colors do we have? We have purple, that end, blue. Okay, so here's all the colors of the rainbow. These are every single wavelength in the visible light spectrum. Now, you might know that the sun is mostly hydrogen being fused, bashed together into helium. But let's just look at hydrogen. Now, every element, because of where the electrons are and their energy levels, that's more of an A-level thing. But if you're doing GCSE, you know about electron shells. Then that means that there's only certain wavelengths of light that can be emitted by the electrons in the atoms. And if I was to draw a line for each of the specific wavelengths that hydrogen emits, then it would look something like this. It produces 4 wavelengths of visible light, 3 near the bluey end and 1 near the red end. So if we look at the hydrogen in our sun, that's what we see. We see these 4 wavelengths of light being emitted, and they arrive at Earth. However, what's weird is that if you look out into space and you look at distant galaxies, which have lots and lots of, well, millions and millions of stars in, they all have hydrogen as well. So you would expect to see exactly the same emission spectrum. You should expect to see exactly the same wavelengths of light being emitted by them. However, what we see is all of the lines in the spectrum have been moved. Which way have they moved? They've moved towards the red end of the spectrum. Because they've moved towards the red end of the spectrum, what do we say they've been? They have been red-shifted. In reality, what does that mean for their wavelengths? Their wavelengths have been stretched. So, if we treat our distant galaxies like ambulances, are the galaxies coming towards us or are they going away from us? If the wavelength has increased, then that means that galaxies are like the ambulance that is moving away from us. It's moving away from us, so it's trying to get away from the waves that it has made. That means that the waves that reach us back here, they have been stretched. Like we said, it doesn't only work for sound waves, it also works for light waves. So we can say that they are redshifted. Now, if we had sensitive enough eyes, we could look at the sun and then we could look at a star in a distant galaxy and we could say, oh, hang on a minute, these stars in this distant galaxy, they look ever so slightly redder than our sun. But in reality, we're talking about such a small redshift that we need very sensitive equipment to be able to measure it. So what's interesting is that if we look out into space, we can see loads of these galaxies, but these galaxies are all around us. But we see that the vast majority of these galaxies are moving away from us. How can we tell that? Because they are all redshifted. So we look at the light coming from all of these galaxies and it's all been redshifted. The wavelengths are longer than they should be. But if we look at galaxies that are even further away from us, they are even more redshifted again. What does that mean? That means that they are moving faster away from us. Just like a faster ambulance sounds like it's got a lower pitched siren. Go out further again and we can see that galaxies that are really far away from us are very redshifted. So that means that they must be booking it away from us. So the further away galaxies are, the more redshifted they are. So that must mean that they must be moving faster away from us. And this is the case if you look out in any direction. Look in any direction and you can see the furthest galaxies away from us are the ones that are traveling the fastest away from us. Edwin Hubble was the first guy to see this, and it led him to come up with a theory of the Big Bang. And this is the main piece of evidence for the Big Bang theory. Let's use our imagination for a second. If we reverse time, then the galaxies aren't moving away from us, but they'd be moving towards us. However, which galaxies would be moving fastest towards us? Well, it would be the ones that are furthest away. Ones that are closer will be moving towards us, but not quite as fast. The galaxies far away come closer, and then theoretically, all of these galaxies, if we go back in time enough, should meet at the same point. All galaxies appear to have originated from the same point. For now, for GCSE, you need to know that this is one of the main pieces of evidence for the Big Bang theory, the theory that all matter in space came from the same point. There was some sort of event that sent all matter flying out into space, and that's why it's all moving apart. Now, some scientists extrapolate that to the theory that the universe itself is expanding, and so that's why we see redshift. Scientists do disagree on this one, but that is the theory of the Big Bang. Now, there is one more piece of evidence for the Big Bang theory as well, and that is CMBR, sometimes just shortened to CMB. What does it stand for? Cosmic Microwave Background Radiation. If you look out into space far enough, if you use your eyes, you'll just see black. However, if you look with a special detector, a microwave telescope, you will be able to see microwave radiation coming towards us from all directions. And that's as far as we can see with the technology that we have. So, edge of universe emits microwave radiation. And it's the same in all directions. And we can say that's uniform. That's the posh word for it. Doesn't matter which direction you look out into space, you should see the same amount of CMBR coming back at you. What's the reason for this? Well, the theory is that this is due to universe still cooling down. So even though the theory is that the Big Bang happened a long time ago, the edge of the universe is still cooling down. And so it's like a piece of coal that's cooling down. It still emits light. It still glows. And so that's what the theory says is going on with the edge of the universe. Still cooling down. It's not emitting light, but it is emitting CMBR. All right, so that's all you need to know if you're just doing GCSE. But if you're doing A-level, then you want to click on the card to go to the next video, which goes into the maths of how we can calculate speed from the amount of redshift and the Hubble constant as well. Don't forget to leave a like if you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.